The message came on a Tuesday. Ji-Soo Kim was drinking coffee at her small desk in the Korean Space Agency's basement when her computer beeped. Her eyes, tired from working late, focused on the screen. Numbers and patterns flashed, forming a sequence she had never seen before. "This can't be right," she whispered. She ran the signal through her programs again. The result was the same. The pattern was too perfect, too structured to be natural. Someone, or something, had sent this message to Earth. Ji-Soo grabbed her phone and called her boss. "Director Hwan, I need to see you now. It's important." 3 hours later, Ji-Soo stood in a room filled with important people. Government officials, military leaders, and scientists from around the world joined through video calls. At 32, Ji-Soo was the youngest person there, and the only woman. She felt their eyes on her as she explained. "The signal comes from a point near Jupiter. It repeats every 9 minutes. It contains mathematical sequences that can only be made by intelligent life." She took a deep breath. "We are not alone." One of the American scientists laughed. "Dr. Kim, with all respect, we get false signals all the time. Your interpretation is." "My interpretation is correct," Ji-Soo said firmly. "The message includes prime numbers, the value of pi, and most importantly, a response to our own Arecibo message sent in 1974. The room went silent. "They answered us," she continued, "and they're coming here. In 6 months." The next weeks were chaos. World leaders argued about how to respond. Some wanted to welcome the aliens. Others wanted to prepare for war. Ji-Soo worked day and night to learn more from the signals, which now came daily. She learned the aliens called themselves the Mavar. They claimed to be peaceful explorers who had visited many worlds. They wanted to meet humans and share knowledge. "I don't trust them," said Tadawon, Ji-Soo's friend and fellow scientist. "Why tell us they're coming instead of just arriving? It feels like they're testing our reaction." Ji-Soo nodded. "Maybe. But this is still the biggest moment in human history." "And they're putting you on the welcome team?" Ta-Won asked. "Not yet. General Min wants his own people. He says I'm too inexperienced." Ji-Soo returned to her work, frustrated. She had discovered the signal first. She understood the Mavar language patterns better than anyone. Yet the military and politicians pushed her aside. That night, as Ji-Soo was about to leave, Director Hwan came to her office. "Pack your things, Dr. Kim. You're moving to the new First Contact headquarters." Ji-Soo looked up in surprise. What changed their minds? "The Mavar did. Their latest message asked for you by name." Ji-Soo felt a chill. "How do they know who I am?" "They've been watching our news, our internet. They specifically requested the female scientist who first received our message." Director Hwan handed her an official badge. "Congratulations. You're now Earth's first alien language expert." As the months passed, Ji-Soo learned more about the Mavar. Their ship was huge, almost 2 miles long. They had visited 12 other star systems. They'd promised medical technology that could cure most diseases. The day of their arrival came. Ji-Soo stood on a platform with world leaders, watching the sky. The Mavar ship appeared first as a small dot, then grew larger until it blocked the sun. It was beautiful and terrifying. A smaller craft left the mothership and descended. It landed softly on the prepared area. Everyone held their breath. The door opened. Tall, elegant beings with pale blue skin walked out. Their leader, taller than the others, approached the human delegation. "I am Ambassador Velith," it said in perfect English. "We come in peace and friendship." The ambassador looked at each human, then stopped at Ji-Soo. "Dr. Kim," Velith said, "your work interpreting our messages was impressive. We have much to discuss." Ji-Soo nodded, keeping her face calm despite her racing heart. "Welcome to Earth," she said. But deep inside, she wondered why. Out of all humans, the Mavar seemed most interested in her. The Mavar ship hung in the sky like a second moon. People around the world could see it at night, glowing with a soft blue light. Some found it beautiful. Others found it scary. All found it impossible to ignore. 1 week after the landing, Jisoo sat in a large meeting room at the new International Alien Relations Center. 5 Mavars sat across from her and the human team. The aliens were tall, nearly 7 feet, with slim bodies and graceful movements. Their skin was light blue with small silver patterns that seemed to shift in the light. "Your world is quite beautiful," said Ambassador Velith, the lead Mavar. "We have visited many planets, but few with such variety of life." General Min, the military leader of the human team, leaned forward. "And what exactly do you want from our world, Ambassador?" Jisoo noticed how Velith's eyes, large and deep purple, narrowed slightly at the direct question. "We seek only friendship and exchange of knowledge," Velith said smoothly. "Our people have traveled the stars for 1,000 years. We have much to share." "And what do you get in return?" asked Dr. Lee, the science advisor. "The joy of discovery, new friends, perhaps some raw materials that are common on your world but rare on others." Jisoo studied Velith as he spoke. The translator in her ear converted the Mavar language to Korean, but she was learning to understand their speech directly. There was something in the way Velith formed certain sounds, a slight hesitation that didn't match the confident words. After the meeting, Jisoo walked with Taiwan through the building's garden. "They're hiding something," she said quietly. Taiwan looked around to make sure no one was listening. "How can you tell?" "Their language doesn't match their body movements, and they avoid certain questions about their home world, about other species they've met. Watch how they change the subject when asked about their history." "Maybe they're just private," Taiwan suggested. "Maybe." Jisoo wasn't convinced. "Or maybe they don't want us to know something." The next day, Jisoo was called to a private meeting with Velith. 2 human guards stood by the door, but they were the only ones in the room. "Dr. Kim," Velith said, "you are making excellent progress with our language." "Thank you," Jisoo replied, "though I still have much to learn. Your mind works differently than most humans we've met. More flexible, more open to new patterns." Jisoo wasn't sure if this was a compliment. "I've always been good with languages." Velith smiled, showing teeth that were too white and too perfect. "I would like you to work directly with our science team. We are ready to share some medical technology with Earth. We need someone who understands both our language and human needs." "Why me? There are better scientists, but none who grasp our meaning as you do." Velith's voice became softer. "You see things others miss, don't you, Jisoo?" The use of her first name made Jisoo uncomfortable. She nodded slowly. "I accept," she said. Over the next month, Jisoo worked closely with the Mavar. They showed her machines that could heal broken bones in hours, cure common diseases, and even extend human life. World leaders were thrilled. The public began to trust the aliens. But late one night, as Jisoo was preparing to leave the science lab, she saw 2 Mavar talking in a corner. They didn't know she was there. She heard one say something that made her freeze. "The mineral extraction can begin once the Category 3 protocols are complete." The other replied, "Ambassador Velith was right to select this one for monitoring. She shows concerning awareness." Jisoo backed away silently. Her heart pounded. Category 3. Mineral extraction. What were they really planning? As she walked to her car, she felt eyes on her. Looking up, she saw Velith watching from a window above. He raised one long, 6-fingered hand in greeting. Jisoo waved back, forcing a smile she didn't feel. Her mind raced. What had she gotten herself into? And more importantly, what had Earth gotten itself into? 3 months after the Mavar arrival, most people on Earth loved the aliens. The Mavar had shared medicines that cured diseases humans had fought for centuries. They gave plans for clean energy devices that worked better than anything on Earth. Countries that once fought each other now work together. Jisoo was not happy, though. She smiled and did her job, but worry ate at her stomach like acid. Category 3, she whispered to herself as she walked into the main Mavar Science building. What does it mean? Jisoo now had her own office next to Ambassador Velith's. Her job was to help explain human science to the Mavar and alien science to humans. Everyone thought she was lucky. Jisoo felt like a mouse in a trap. Taiwan met her for lunch in the building's cafeteria. They sat in a corner, away from others. "You look tired," he said, pushing a coffee toward her. "I'm not sleeping well." Jisoo looked around before speaking softer. "I've been searching the Mavar database they gave us. There's no mention of Category 3 anywhere." "Maybe you heard wrong," Taiwan suggested. "I didn't." Jisoo took a small device from her pocket and slid it across the table. "I made this. It records everything and translates Mavar speech. I've been keeping it with me." Taiwan's eyes widened. "That's dangerous. If they catch you, I need proof." Jisoo took a bite of her food, not tasting it. "The Mavar are planning something. I can feel it." That afternoon, Jisoo attended a meeting about new Mavar embassies. They wanted to build one in every major city on Earth. "These buildings will strengthen our friendship," Velith explained to the human leaders. "They will also house technology to improve your air quality and weather." Jisoo noticed how the other Mavar, named Kalon, watched her during the meeting. His purple eyes never left her face. After the meeting, Velith asked Jisoo to stay behind. "You seem troubled, Jisoo," the alien said once they were alone. "Is something wrong?" Jisoo forced a smile. "Just tired. The work is exciting but challenging." Velith's head tilted slightly. "I've noticed you asking questions about our classification systems." Jisoo's heart jumped. "Just trying to understand your methods better." "Of course." Velith stepped closer. Jisoo fought the urge to back away. "Your planet has much potential. Your people are quite adaptable." "What does that mean?" "It means you will handle the changes well." "What changes?" Jisoo asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Velith smiled. "Progress always brings change. We've seen it on many worlds." That night, Jisoo couldn't sleep. She went to her computer and began searching through files again. The Mavar had given humans access to what they called their cultural and scientific database, but Jisoo was sure they were hiding much more. She tried new search terms: earth, mineral, extraction. Nothing useful appeared. Then she tried adaptable species. A file opened. Jisoo read quickly, her hands shaking. Species Classification Guide. Category 1. Resistant to influence. Requires direct approach. Category 2. Partially receptive. Requires extended preparation. Category 3. Highly adaptable. Easily managed with minimal resistance. Jisoo felt cold all over. She kept reading. Category 3 worlds provide optimal extraction conditions. Native species can be maintained as workforce with proper atmospheric preparation. Atmospheric preparation. Jisoo whispered. The door to her apartment buzzed. Jisoo jumped, quickly closing the file. She checked the time. 3:24 a.m. The buzzer sounded again. Jisoo moved to the door and looked through the peephole. Ambassador Velith stood in the hallway, flanked by two other Mavar. "Jisoo Kim," Velith called through the door. "We need to speak with you about your database access. Please open the door." Jisoo backed away, her mind racing. They knew what she had found. She grabbed her phone and the recording device, then ran to the bedroom window. The fire escape was her only way out. As she climbed out the window, she heard the front door crash open. Jisoo ran through dark streets for an hour before she felt safe enough to stop. Her lungs burned and her legs ached. She found herself in an old part of the city where the tall buildings blocked the view of the Mavar ship in the sky. She ducked into a small 24-hour cafe and ordered tea with shaking hands. The few people inside paid no attention to her. Jisoo took out her phone and called Taiwan. "They came for me," she whispered when he answered. "The Mavar. They know what I found." "Where are you?" Taiwan asked, his voice worried. "I can't say on the phone." "Meet me where we used to study for exams in college. Remember that place? The old library. I'll be there in an hour." Jisoo ended the call and stared at her tea. What she had discovered changed everything. The Mavar weren't friends. They saw humans as tools to use while they took Earth's resources. The old library was closed at this hour, but Jisoo and Taiwan knew a way in through a basement door that never locked properly. They had spent many late nights there during college, studying where no one would bother them. Taiwan was waiting when she arrived. He looked scared but determined. "Are you okay?" he asked. Jisoo shook her head. "I found out what Category 3 means. They're planning something terrible, Taiwan." They found a dark corner of the library basement. Jisoo showed Taiwan what she had discovered on her phone. "They classify species by how easy they are to control," she explained. "We're Category 3, easily managed with minimal resistance. They plan to use some kind of atmospheric preparation to make us into a workforce while they take our planet's resources." Taiwan's face went pale. "We need to warn people." "With what proof? I only saw the file for a minute before they came." "And who would believe us? The Mavar have made themselves heroes by sharing technology." "Maybe we can get more proof," Taiwan suggested. "I have access to the Mavar data center. I help maintain their Earth-compatible systems." Jisoo thought for a moment. "We need to see their real files, not just what they show us. Can you get me in there? It's dangerous. We don't have a choice." The next night, Jisoo and Taiwan used his security badge to enter the Mavar data center. The large room was filled with alien computers that hummed quietly. Soft blue lights pulsed along the walls. No Mavar were present. They rarely worked at night. "We have 20 minutes before the security scan," Taiwan whispered. "The human guards won't come in here, but the system does automatic checks." Jisoo sat at one of the terminals. Taiwan had taught her how to use his access codes. She had studied Mavar writing systems for months and could now read much of their language. She searched quickly, looking for files about Earth. Many were locked, but her work with Ambassador Velith had taught her some of their security patterns. Finally, she found what she was looking for: Earth Pacification Protocol. The file opened, showing diagrams and chemical formulas. Jisoo read as fast as she could. Phase 1. Embassy construction. Complete. Phase 2. Resource mapping. 89% complete. Phase 3. Atmospheric processor installation. 76% complete. Phase 4. Release of compound EC-173. Scheduled for day 180. Phase 5. Begin extraction operations. Scheduled for day 210. Jisoo's hands flew over the keyboard, looking for more information. She found details about compound EC-173, a chemical that would make humans passive and obedient when breathed. The Mavar planned to release it through the air quality improvement systems in their new embassies. "They're going to drug the entire planet," she whispered in horror. "We need to copy this," Taiwan said, connecting a small device to the terminal. Suddenly, the lights in the room turned red. An alarm sounded. "Security scan is early," Taiwan shouted. "We need to go." Jisoo quickly sent the most important files to the device, but there wasn't time for everything. They ran for the door just as it started to close automatically. They slid through the narrowing gap and sprinted down the hallway. Behind them, they heard the heavy footsteps of Mavar guards. They had their proof now, but would anyone believe them before it was too late? 3 days after escaping the Mavar data center, Jisoo and Taiwan sat in a small hotel room on the edge of the city. The TV was on, showing news about the wonderful Mavar and their gifts to humanity. "Look at this," Taiwan said, turning up the volume. On the screen, Ambassador Velith stood next to world leaders. He smiled his too-perfect smile as he spoke. Today we announced the opening of Mavar embassies in 50 major cities. Each will include our air quality improvement systems, bringing better health to all humans. Jisoo felt sick. Air quality improvement meant the release of compound EC-173, the chemical that would make humans easy to control. We need to warn people, she said. The embassies will be working in less than a month. That's when they'll release the compound. Taiwan nodded, but his face was worried. Who will listen? And look at this. He handed Jisoo his tablet. On it was a news story about her. The headline read, "Top Alien Relations Scientist Suffers Mental Breakdown." The article claimed Jisoo had become paranoid and unstable. It quoted sources close to Dr. Kim, saying she was jealous of other scientists working with the Mavar and had developed dangerous conspiracy theories. "They're destroying my reputation," Jisoo whispered, "making sure no one will believe me." "There's more," Taiwan said. "The police are looking for us both. They're saying we stole Mavar technology." Jisoo closed her eyes, thinking hard. We need to find someone important who will listen. Someone who can help spread the truth. "I might know someone," Taiwan said after a moment. "My cousin works for Director Kang at the National Security Agency. Kang never trusted the Mavar. Can your cousin get us a meeting?" "I'll try." 2 days later, Jisoo and Taiwan sat across from Director Kang in a private office. The stern-faced woman listened without expression as they explained what they had discovered. When they finished, Director Kang sighed. "I believe you." Jisoo felt hope for the first time in days. "I've never trusted these aliens," Kang continued. "Something about them felt wrong from the start. But I need proof to take to the president." "We have this," Taiwan said, handing over the device with the copied files. Kang plugged it into her computer. Her face fell as she looked at the screen. "The files are corrupted," she said. "There's only fragments left." Jisoo's heart sank. The security system must have damaged them when it detected us. Kang studied what remained. "There's enough here to raise questions, but not enough to prove anything. And with your current reputation, Dr. Kim," she trailed off. "What do we do?" Taiwan asked. "Go into hiding," Kang advised. "I'll do what I can with this information, but it will take time to convince people. Meanwhile, the Mavar are looking for you both." As they left Kang's office through a back door, Jisoo felt despair growing inside her. How could they fight enemies that controlled the narrative so completely? That night, in another small hotel, Jisoo watched the news again. The main story was about the first Mavar embassy opening in the capital city. Crowds of happy people gathered to see it. "Look how they cheer for their own destruction," she said bitterly. Taiwan was working on his laptop. "I've been analyzing the file fragments we saved. There's something interesting here about Mavar biology." Jisoo moved to look over his shoulder. "What is it?" "The compound they're going to release affects human brains by blocking certain chemicals, but the same compound would be toxic to the Mavar themselves. That's why they need the special air systems in their embassies, to filter it out." Jisoo's eyes widened as an idea formed. So the Mavar are vulnerable too. A knock at the door made them both freeze. Taiwan closed the laptop quickly. "Who is it?" Jisoo called, moving toward the bathroom window. Their escape route. "My name is Soo-Jin Lee," came a woman's voice. "Director Kang sent me. I believe your story, and I want to help." Jisoo and Taiwan looked at each other. "What do we do?" Taiwan whispered. "We need allies," Jisoo replied. "We have to trust someone." She moved to the door and opened it. Soo-Jin Lee was not what Jisoo expected. The woman who stood in their hotel room doorway was small, with short hair and a face that showed little emotion. She wore simple clothes, jeans, and a dark jacket, but Jisoo noticed how she checked every corner of the room with sharp eyes. "We don't have much time," Su-Jin said. Mavar agents tracked you to this area. We need to move. How do we know we can trust you? Ta-One asked. Su-Jin handed them a phone. On it was a message from Director Kang. Trust Su-Jin. She leads our special operations team. 10 minutes later, they were in Su-Jin's car, driving away from the city. Where are we going? Ji-Soo asked. Somewhere safe, Su-Jin replied. I have a group of people who never trusted the Mavar. We've been watching them since they arrived. Ji-Soo studied the woman. You're military. I was. Now I lead a small resistance. Most people think we're crazy, but more are joining as they notice strange things happening. They drove for 3 hours, deep into the countryside. Finally, they arrived at what looked like an old farm, but inside the main building was modern equipment and about 20 people working at computers. Welcome to our base, Su-Jin said. Not as fancy as the Mavar buildings, but they don't know about us. A tall man approached them. I'm Han, he said, tech specialist. He looked at Ji-Soo with respect. We've been following your work, Dr. Kim. You were right about the Mavar all along. For the first time in days, Ji-Soo felt hopeful. Here were people who believed her. Su-Jin showed them to a small room with maps on the walls. Tell us everything you know. Ji-Soo and Ta-One shared what they had discovered about the Mavar plan. Su-Jin and her team listened carefully. We've been monitoring the new embassies, Han said when they finished. They're installing large machines inside. They call them air purifiers, but the power usage is massive. Those must be the atmospheric processors, Ji-Soo said. Once they're all working, they'll release compound EC-173 to make humans easy to control. Su-Jin pointed to a map. There's a Mavar facility being built here, about 20 miles away. It's not an embassy. They call it a cultural center, but security is very tight. Can we get inside? Ta-One asked. Maybe. We have someone working on the construction crew. He might get us in tonight. That night, Ji-Soo, Ta-One, and Su-Jin approached the Mavar facility. It was a large white building surrounded by a tall fence. Su-Jin's team member, a construction worker named Do-Hyun, met them at a service gate. I can get you in through the loading area, he whispered. But we only have 30 minutes before the next security scan. Inside, the building looked normal at first, open spaces with displays about Mavar culture. But Su-Jin led them to a locked door in back. This is where they don't let the construction workers go, Do-Hyun said. Han, who had come with them, used a small device to open the lock. Mavar technology is advanced, but not perfect, he said with a smile. Behind the door was a large room filled with strange machines. In the center was a huge silver tank connected to pipes that ran into the ceiling. This is it, Ji-Soo whispered. The atmospheric processor. Ta-One took pictures while Ji-Soo examined the machines. She found a control panel with Mavar writing. It says, Compound Distribution System. She translated. And look, the activation date is set for 2 weeks from now. That's when all the embassies will be operational. Suddenly, lights began flashing. An alarm sounded. Security scan, Do-Hyun shouted. It's early. They ran for the exit. As they reached the main hall, 2 Mavar guards appeared. This way, Su-Jin yelled, pulling them down another hallway. They ran through a service door and into the night. Behind them, more alarms sounded. They made it to their car and sped away. They were safe, for now. But as they drove back to the base, Ta-One groaned and held his arm. Are you hurt? Ji-Soo asked, worried. One of the guards fired something, he said. It grazed me. In the car's light, Ji-Soo saw a deep cut on Ta-One's arm. It was already turning purple around the edges. The Mavar weapons must be poisoned, Su-Jin said grimly. We need to get him back to base quickly. Ji-Soo held Ta-One's hand as he closed his eyes, his face pale with pain. Their time was running out. Taiwan lay on a bed in the resistance base, his face pale and his forehead hot with fever. The doctor in Sujin's group had treated his wound, but the poison from the Mavar weapon was strong. He needs real medical help, the doctor said. I've done what I can. Jisoo sat by Taiwan's bed, holding his hand. Will he be okay? If we can get the right medicine, yes. But it's in hospitals, and the Mavar are watching all hospitals now. Jisoo felt anger rise inside her. The Mavar had taken so much already. Her job, her home, her safety. Now they might take her friend too. Sujin entered the room. We have 11 days before the Mavar activate their atmospheric processors, she said. We need a plan. Jisoo looked up, her eyes hard. I've been thinking about that. Fighting the Mavar directly won't work. Their weapons and technology are too advanced. Then what can we do? Sujin asked. We need to use what we know about them against them. Jisoo stood up and walked to the small table in the corner. She spread out her notes. During my work with the Mavar, I learned a lot about their biology and psychology. Sujin and the others gathered around as Jisoo explained. The Mavar communicate in two ways, she said. They speak like we do, but they also use chemical signals, like smells that carry information. These chemicals tell them who is in charge and what to do. Like ants? Han asked. Similar, but more complex. What's important is that their chain of command depends on these signals. Each Mavar leader produces a specific chemical signature that their followers recognize. Sujin nodded slowly. So if we disrupted these chemical signals, it would throw their whole command structure into chaos. Jisoo finished. They wouldn't know who to obey or what to do. Can we really do that? Han asked. Jisoo pointed to her notes. When I was working in the Mavar labs, I helped analyze Earth's atmosphere. They were very interested in certain chemicals that affect their communication system. I know what compounds would interfere with their signals. Over the next 3 days, Jisoo worked with Han and the resistance scientists to create what she called a signal disruptor. It was a device that would release a special mix of chemicals into the air. Meanwhile, Sujin's team gathered more information. They learned that all 50 Mavar embassies would activate their atmospheric processors at the same time. The main control was at the biggest embassy, where Ambassador Velith worked. We need to hit them all at once, Sujin said during a planning meeting. If we only disrupt one location, the others will still release the compound. We don't have enough people, Han argued. We don't need to, Jisoo said. The Mavar built their embassies with connected ventilation systems. If we can get our signal disruptor into the main embassy's air system, it will spread to all of them through their own network. That still means getting into the most heavily guarded Mavar building, Sujin pointed out. Jisoo was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I can get in. They want me. Everyone looked at her in surprise. What do you mean? Sujin asked. The Mavar have been hunting me because they know I discovered their plan. But they also want me alive. Ambassador Velith thinks I'm special because I understand their language so well. Jisoo's voice was calm, but her hands shook slightly. If I turn myself in, they'll take me to Velith. That's too dangerous, Taiwan said from his bed. He was still weak but getting better. They'll kill you. Not right away, Jisoo said. They'll want to know what I've told others. That will give me time to get close to their ventilation system. Sujin thought for a long time. Finally, she said, it could work, but you'll need a way to hide the disruptor. Han held up a small metal disc. I can make it small enough to fit in your pocket. Once it's in their air system, I can activate it remotely. Jisoo nodded. Then it's decided. I'll go in. That night, as the others finalized the plan, Jisoo sat alone by the window. She watched the Mavar ship glowing in the night sky and felt fear twist in her stomach. Tomorrow, she would walk into the heart of the enemy's base. If she failed, Earth would fall. But she wouldn't fail. She couldn't. The morning of the confrontation was sunny and cool. Jisoo stood outside the main Mavar embassy, the signal disruptor hidden in a special pocket sewn into her jacket. The small metal disc felt heavy against her side. "Are you ready?" Soo-jin asked through the tiny earpiece Jisoo wore. "Yes," Jisoo replied softly. "The moment I'm inside, start the other operations." Soo-jin and her team had planned several small attacks on other Mavar locations. These weren't meant to cause damage, but to distract the aliens while Jisoo carried out the main mission. Jisoo took a deep breath and walked toward the embassy entrance. 2 human guards stood at the door, with a Mavar security officer behind them. "Stop," one guard said. "This area is—" "My name is Jisoo Kim," she said clearly. "I want to speak with Ambassador Velith." The guards looked surprised. One spoke into his radio. The Mavar officer stepped forward, his purple eyes studying Jisoo with interest. "Dr. Kim," he said, "we have been looking for you." "I know," Jisoo replied. "I'm here now." Within minutes, she was escorted inside the building. The embassy was beautiful, with high ceilings and strange, flowing art on the walls. But Jisoo noticed the air vents everywhere. Those would soon pump the mind-controlling compound into Earth's atmosphere. They took her to a large office on the top floor. Ambassador Velith sat behind a desk made of some shining material that wasn't quite metal or glass. He stood when Jisoo entered. "Dr. Kim," he said, his voice smooth, "I'm pleased you've decided to return to us." Jisoo's heart raced, but she kept her face calm. "I got tired of running." "Where is your friend, Dr. Park, and the resistance group you joined?" "I left them," Jisoo lied. "They wanted to use violence against your people. I don't believe in that." Velith tilted his head, studying her. "You always were different from other humans. More perceptive. That's why I came back," Jisoo said. "I want to understand what's really happening." Velith gestured to a chair. "Please, sit. Would you like something to drink?" Jisoo sat down. Through her earpiece, she could hear Soo-jin. "First distraction, starting in 3 minutes. Get near the ventilation system." Jisoo looked around the room, spotting a large vent on the wall behind Velith's desk. She needed to get closer to it. "Why did you classify Earth as Category 3? She asked directly. Velith's smooth expression changed slightly. "You learned more than we thought. I know about the atmospheric processors, about compound EC-173. Velith stood and walked to a window overlooking the city. "Your species has such potential, Jisoo. But you're chaotic, violent. We're helping you become better. By controlling our minds, making us into slaves. Not slaves, workers, partners in a more efficient world." Velith turned to face her. "Your planet has resources we need. Your people have skills we can use. It's a fair exchange." "We didn't agree to it," Jisoo said, standing up. She needed to move closer to the vent. "Your leaders would never agree. Humans think too much about individual freedom and not enough about efficiency." Velith stepped closer to her. "But you're different. You understand systems, patterns. You could have a special place in the new order." In her ear, Soo-jin said. Distraction started. Mavar security responding. "Move now." Jisoo walked slowly around the desk, pretending to examine the alien art on the wall. Now she was just a few steps from the vent. "You never considered us a real threat, did you?" she asked. "No," Velith admitted. "Your weapons are primitive. Your leaders are divided. You weren't considered a threat." An alarm sounded somewhere in the building. Velith looked toward the door. Jisoo moved quickly. She pulled the signal disruptor from her pocket and slammed it against the vent. It stuck there, its light turning from red to green as it activated. Velith turned back, his eyes widening. "What have you done?" Jisoo straightened her back and looked the alien directly in the eyes. "That was your mistake," she said. "I wasn't a threat. Until I was." The effect of the signal disruptor was faster than Jisoo expected. Within seconds, the air in the room filled with an invisible cloud of chemicals designed to confuse the Mavar communication system. Ambassador Velith's reaction was immediate. He stumbled backward, his graceful movements suddenly clumsy. His purple eyes widened, and he made a strange sound, something between a gasp and a hiss. "What is happening?" he demanded, his voice no longer smooth but rough and uncertain. All through the building, alarms began to sound. Through her earpiece, Ji-Soo heard Soo-Jin. "It's working. The Mavar in our location are confused. They're not responding to commands." "Security override activated," came Han's voice next. "I'm in their system." Ji-Soo backed toward the door, watching as Velith pressed his hands against his head. How did you know?" he gasped. "I paid attention," Ji-Soo replied. "And I learned your weaknesses." Two Mavar guards burst into the room, but instead of capturing Ji-Soo, they looked around in confusion. One began arguing with the other in their language, neither paying attention to Ji-Soo or even Velith. On the screens on Velith's desk, Ji-Soo could see chaos unfolding. Mavar were wandering aimlessly in the halls. Some fought with each other. None followed any clear orders. "Their entire command structure is breaking down," Han reported through the earpiece. "The chemical signals they use to establish rank and give orders are completely scrambled." Ji-Soo slipped past the confused guards and ran down the hallway toward the embassy's control center. Soo-Jin had memorized the building plans, and she guided Ji-Soo through the earpiece. The control center was filled with Mavar technicians, all in various states of confusion. Some were trying to shut down systems. Others argued or simply sat staring at screens. Ji-Soo went straight to the main computer. Using the knowledge she had gained while working with the Mavar, she accessed the atmospheric processor controls. "I'm in the system," she told Soo-Jin. "I can see all 50 processors. They're still set to activate in 3 days. Can you shut them down?" Soo-Jin asked. "Better," Ji-Soo replied, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "I can reverse them." Working quickly, Ji-Soo reprogrammed the atmospheric processors. Instead of releasing compound EC-173 to control humans, they would now release a harmless gas that would neutralize any of the compound the Mavar might try to use later. "It's done," she said finally. "And I'm sending all the proof of their plan to every news organization and government in the world." Behind her, someone slow clapped. Ji-Soo turned to see Ambassador Velith standing in the doorway. He looked ill, but his eyes were focused on her. "Impressive," he said. "No species has ever resisted a Category 3 pacification before." "Humans are different," Ji-Soo replied. "We don't surrender easily." Velith nodded slowly. "So it seems, but this is just one setback. We have conquered worlds for thousands of years. We will try again." "No," came a new voice. Ji-Soo turned to see Soo-Jin entering with a team of soldiers, real human soldiers in military uniforms. "You won't." In the days that followed, the world learned the truth about the Mavar. News channels showed footage of the confused aliens and the atmospheric processors they had built. Ji-Soo's data proved their plan to control humanity and strip Earth of its resources. The Mavar ship left Earth orbit 1 week later, recalled by their home world. Without their chemical command system, they could not function properly on Earth. Their mission had failed completely. 2 months after the Mavar departure, Ji-Soo sat with Ta-1 and Soo-Jin in a new office. The sign on the door read, "Earth Defense Initiative. Xenobiology Division. The President wants an update on the new early warning system." Soo-Jin said, now wearing a military uniform with commander's stars. Ta-1, fully recovered, pulled up images on his tablet. "It's almost complete. We've used Mavar technology against them. If they or any other aliens approach, we'll know months in advance." Ji-Soo looked out the window at the blue sky. No alien ship hung there now. Earth was safe. For the moment. "We've received a message from a trading federation in nearby star systems," Soo-Jin said. Apparently the Mavar have been warning other species about Earth. What are they saying? Taiwan asked. Su Jin smiled. They're saying the humans weren't a threat until they were. Jesu smiled too. Earth would be ready next time.